Four of the country's most dangerous cities are located right here in Michigan. How will we get our crime problems straightened out? Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers coming to you from the Capitol building in Lansing. Joining me now is State Representative Tom Leonard, a Republican from the 93rd District. Thank you so much for joining us.
Laurel, thank you for having me.
One of the issues that is sort of a high focus for you is public safety. I'm concerned about the four top cities we should mention: Detroit, Flint, Saginaw, and Pontiac.
Yep.
And what do we need to do legislatively as a state to try to make those cities and our state overall more safe?
Well, one of the things I have been saying is that our focus does need to remain on jobs and the economy, but we're never going to completely get this economy turned around until we do get this crime problem straightened out. Now, I don't claim to have all the answers, but there's several things that we need to look at. For instance, we need to start looking at outside the box. I used to clerk for the probate judge in Genesee County. Her name is Jenny Barkey, and that's where Flint's located. She was the pilot program for the mental health court here in Michigan, and now I believe that's expanding throughout the state. I recently spoke with Judge Barkey, and she now has 75 or 80 participants in her mental health court who are all now doing well. They're on their meds, and these are folks that are not out committing violent crimes and finding themselves in prison.
What is a mental health court?
A mental health court is kind of a deferral program. It's kind of a treatment court. What happens is individuals that commit minor crimes, so misdemeanors or maybe simple assaults, if the victim agrees, they enter into this mental health court. And what the judge does, she orders the defendant. They'll get a caseworker. Sometimes they'll have to look for employment. They'll have to look for a job. They'll have to stay on their meds. And what happens is each week they come in and they report to the judge. And what happens is she's holding that 90 or 180 days in jail over their heads. And when they come in, if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, she can put them in jail. If they are, they go on the next week and they continue to look for a job and they stay on their medications. Then after a year, once they complete the program, the case is dismissed. So what this is, it's a good way to take those that are committing misdemeanors or nonviolent crimes that maybe could be out committing violent crimes, getting them on their medications, making certain that they're looking for jobs, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and hopefully after they do that for a year, they can continue that after the case is dismissed.
So mental health, obviously a huge factor when it comes to treating those folks and helping to keep our community safe.
Absolutely.
How big of an issue is education and perhaps giving our young people something to hope for, something to strive for, something to do?
Very big. These four cities that have already been mentioned, again, Flint, Pontiac, Saginaw, and Detroit, those cities have a lot of failing schools right now, and those schools need to be held accountable. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to visit a school that was in the Education Achievement Authority, and this was a school that had just been recently been taken over. It used to be Detroit Public School. I spoke with the principal there, and she told me that when she came in and she started running this school, that 66% of the students, grades kindergarten through third, could not identify a letter in the alphabet. That is unacceptable, and that is a problem, and that's when these young kids, when they're faced with those types of schools and those types of systems, those are the kids that are going to commit crime and find themselves in prison. So we certainly need to concentrate on education and hold our schools accountable.
All right, and then very quickly, you recently introduced a bill that would give circuit judges a little bit more power.
It does. For vulnerable adult embezzlement crimes, right now they only have concurrent sentencing powers, which means that if somebody embezzled from a vulnerable adult several times, the judge can only sentence them on one crime. My bill would allow them to sentence them on each of the crimes they commit.
All right, doing a lot of good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Today's Comcast Newsmaker was State Representative Tom Leonard, a Republican from the 93rd District.